be you. Be spirit here. Having a little bee therapy in the borage. This past year was the first time I ever grew borage, and I had chopped it all down when it started going to seed. And I guess a lot of seeds fell in the ground because all of this grew by itself. And it's March. I guess at some point I'm going to have to chop it back because underneath all of this are my strawberries. But to get a lot of nutrients from borage. They're so pretty. Look at that. I read just the other day that borage flowers refill their nectar every couple minutes. So if the bees are eating, they can come back again and again. Look at how huge this thing is. It's up to my hips. The tall ones in the back are up to my waist. And way in there, a beautiful calendula that just came up. I think it's basically all one plant. I planted lots of seeds. That was not even last year, the year before, and they didn't come up. But this one decided it was time. So I'm going to try again and make an effort to grow a lot. And some comfrey as well for all the medicinal qualities. I always have some borage, but not this much. This is crazy. And I just finished doing all this weed whacking out here. So I have a lot of weeds after we got a good rain. So I've been busy. You can see this is all messy over here. I have to do all this area. But I just finished all the planter area and behind the borage. And then another project are all my stones down here that were also covered with weeds that I've now gotten out. I need to clean this whole area by hand. Just sit here on a cool morning and go through all the rocks, and I'm gonna relocate them to make a little monument in the corner there. My weed whacker. And look at this. We have iris. I have to dig all those out and separate them all. I have more on the other side. They're still covered with weeds. This is my little herb garden, I have the oregano going all year round. I need to go in and trim back all the dead flowers, all the dead seeds. Cut all that off because underneath it's still nice and green. And then I have parsley and dill coming up on its own from last year. And over here is catnip coming back by itself too. So I want to put in basil and some lemon balm, cilantro before it gets hot. And then I need to tie back some of this rose bush and do all the weeding. Look at how thick this grass is. And there's all kinds of iris under there too, in a little semicircle under the weeds. Some of them are flowering. That's Charlie barking at the ravens. So, next on my project list, this morning I did all this weed whacking until my batteries all died, so they're all being charged. And another project that I want to get done, repainting my steps, refinishing them. You can see where Charlie's claws kind of scratched it all up. I need to repaint the whole porch, but I'm going to start with the steps because they were just newly made. My cousin made new steps for the front and the back. And now that he finished the back porch, replacing some boards, now I can go stain those as well. I wasn't sure I liked the color because it came out super, like, I don't know what, orangey red a little bit. But as it dries, it's kind of redwood, so it's okay. I'll put a second coat on these steps. And then we'll go to the front as well. Let's take a walk over by the horses and I'll show you some other projects we're working on over there. Really good improvements being made. There's the girls. They're mad at me because I mowed all the weeds down all along the fence line. It's all nice and clean now. So this is the new and improved corral. It used to be... Let me get inside. There used to be an alleyway here. There's a big fence. From that pole all the way over here. It was only like 3 feet wide, the entrance. No, not 3 feet, I guess that must be 6 feet. But a narrow entry where it could have just been open like this. So we cut out the boards, and we still have to put some posts on either side and wrap it with sheet metal because Miss Z is a kicker. She doesn't really chew on the fencing or anything, but she does kick. Look at this. She has split this post. But since we put the wrap around it, she can kick it, but she can't kill it. Crazy. Anyway, so we've always had this cover on the back half of the shed, or run-in as they call it. A run-in because it's just a 3 sides, well, 2 sides and a roof. And I always wanted for it to be extended on this side. And now it is. Yeah. So now the horses have twice as much, well, not twice as much, almost twice as much covered area for shade in the summer. And it's going to direct the water off so it doesn't get down in this area that always gets mucky. That's why I have these rubber mats, but they get buried in the mud and it's gross. So that was all scraped down when we had the tractor. And the last thing was for me. I had him cut out this big hole in this wall. It's actually a windbreak wall, but it's okay. We have enough shelter back there for them. But on the other side of that is where I keep the hay, and I'm always having to go up on this rickety step stool and throw it up over this whole thing and around the corner under here where it's dry. But now, since this whole thing is covered, I can just throw it out this hole right underneath the cover here. So there's the hay. There's a rickety old step stool I'm not going to use anymore. cool. That makes my life so much easier because that's those 2 steps. Trying to balance the hay, and if it's windy and I have to hold with one hand and then fling it around the corner in there. Now I can just drop it right through the window. Just easy as you please. And they won't get wet if they stand here and eat. I have to put another big water bucket over here. Yeah, it smells good, like fresh wood. And we also replaced a few boards over here that I'm sure it was Z, did karate chops on and split. The bottom 2 boards were really badly damaged. So I painted those this morning. And Miss Raina is the chewer, a little beaver. Eating away the posts. So every so often we have to install another support next to it. You know, in the end, pipe corral would probably be about the same expense, even though it's so expensive to install. But now I got it the way I like it. We even got a gutter on the back roof. So now the water won't just drip down and slide over there. It'll go off to the back. And in the back, we now have a big trench dug all along that side and partway down this side. So any water will be diverted into the deep trench and not soak up in the corner like it had been. But look how much room they have now. Just extending 3 fences and putting a gate is really great. Hey girls, I think they might need some water. Can't believe the weather is so really beautiful. Today's in the 70s. Z's wearing a fur coat. We didn't really get that big of a winter. Not even snow. It was sad. Something might happen in March, but anyway, I had a lawnmower out today and did this whole back area and around all the trees because it was so thick and it was up to my thighs. And here's the garden. So the outside 2 planters are ready to be planted. In fact, there's already potatoes coming up from last year. I've got a row of them. I'm gonna put some more in between. And then I'm kind of waiting because I know there's a lot of marigold seeds in here. And we're gonna do a lot of melons again. So I will be starting some melon seeds for sure. And on this side we had zucchinis. Now if I do it again, I'd probably only do 2 or 3 zucchini plants and maybe put a couple more after another month or so. So I don't get so many all at the same time. It's too much. And then the inside, this is all nice and fluffy. Really well mixed with compost, and we had horse manure and chicken manure and a lot of worms, and then we got some more compost being made, sort of seasoning. And over here is where I have my greens usually, and I've got Swiss chard coming back up. That made it over the winter. And my mega artichoke plants I was going to bury and cover for the winter, but they never died back. They just got monstrous. So there were originally 4. One looked like it died. And then now there's, I think, 3 more coming out from underneath. Offshoots. So yay. And I have a big space to work with. Gonna try and grow 2 or 3 of a lot of different things, and then succession plant. Maybe next month put some more, a bunch of different things, and so on. So we can keep feeding ourselves through the whole summer and into the fall. I gotta get the weed whacker over here too. Look at this. Oh my gosh. That's incredible. Oh my goodness. I didn't really even get to batten down the hatches for the winter, because the winter never came. Okay, we've moved out to the front, because of course my neighbor came out and he's doing his laundry. This is pear blossoms. Pretty, pretty, pretty pear blossoms. And over there we have, I think, plums. Maybe. It's never had fruit, so I'm not positive. And I need to get Charlie's rope. So I have him out here sometimes when I'm doing weed whacking. So he can run around a little bit, but still be under control. Look at this. It's growing straight out of the trunk of the tree. So pretty. We have a lot of bricks. Oops. We have a lot of bricks around the trees because we're going to make just little planters around the base of them. And some of the trees have already scattered a lot of manure, compost. But now the weeds are coming back up through them, so I'm like, okay. So, this is another pear tree. 3 pear trees. This is the front garden. The outside beds. And there is the cat kennel. Let's see if there's any kitties in here. Oh, I see you, kitty. I see you, Mommy. Hi. Hi, Ruby. Ruby loves to be outside all day. She has lots of places to lay down. She has several cat climbers and beds. And this side is underneath a tarp, which I need to replace because it's thrashed. I've already got the new one and new clips. Just have to do it. And then there's the ramp that goes in the window. So they go out there and they run down that little runway, jump down. You like it, don't you, kitty? You're such a big girl. I feed the birds out front here. She loves to come out early in the morning and look at them. Oh, is that Squeak? Hi, Squeak. Squeaky. Squeaky. Come on in. I think that's Black Kitty. I can't tell. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, it's a nice day, so I'll keep the window open for them. Otherwise it gets too cold in the house. I gotta do a little weeding out here. And I need to transplant. I have 3 or 4 of these elm trees that popped up. But they look pretty healthy and in good shape. So I'm gonna dig them up and plant them out behind the horse corral so I can start to make some shade back there. These are all weeds. Some that's not. And this is another artichoke. I had them growing here. And it just kept dying back until it was just one tiny little leaf that was about a ½ inch long. And I thought, okay, fine, I give up. And then the winter came and it just started growing by itself since I left it alone. A few of these things will have flowers again, so I'm going to let them keep growing. And some of these, I think, are flowers, so I'm going to wait and see what happens. Because I know that these are not, but these have different leaves. These are narrow. That's fiddleneck, and I will be tearing those out soon. These have a different shape of leaf. And I did plant a lot of seeds over here last year. I had a jungle of things. And then on the corner I had artichoke, and they're not here. But some onions came. I had a few onion plants that grew. And then this whole row is saffron or crocus. The crocus variety that has the purple flowers with the orange stamen. This is saffron. I didn't get any flowers this year. I think I put them in too late. And the ones from last year actually got green again and broke through the dirt, but yeah, I think it was just too mild. I think they need more winter. Because usually I plant them in October or November. And then they bloom in January and February or whatever. But that's okay because they're healthy. And by next year I'll be able to divide a few of them. Anyway, and that brings us to the porch. And the new repairs. Thank goodness. Because this is where I have my water fountains for the hummingbirds and bird bath. And potted flowers. It was very saggy and not very well supported on the ends. It was not well built. And the banister all the way around was very rickety. So now it's all shored up, and I need to paint the raw wood. Oh, who's that over there? Who is down in there? Oh, what a cute boy. That is a cute boy. So, if you can't tell, I'm trying to keep my happy factor going, trying to think about things that add to the world. Going through mixed emotions of feeling very lucky and privileged and guilty of not being more involved, or I don't know. But then when you are, or if you get too emotionally pulled down, then you feel like you're not honoring your sole purpose, which is to practice what you've been learning all your life for times like this. Because believe it or not, we knew this was going to happen. Maybe not specifics, but the horrendous swing of the pendulum into the crazy is necessary to get us enough momentum to wake people up and have them make their own decision. But yeah, I'm pretty much checked out of it. I just have decided that the way I can give back and the way I can help is maybe sharing quiet comfort when it's time to go to sleep, time to rest. What do you think? I sure hope so. I know it's a little selfish because it does help me as well. I think I want to cut this whole thing out. This arbor vitae is just out of control. It makes too much shade on the porch. So, these are also new steps. Look at how nice. So solid. Beautiful wood. But they need to get painted as well. At least 2 coats. So they need to be swept. Maybe I'll wash them off to get all the dust off. Let it dry. And then paint those. I was hoping to do that today, but I'm tired. I also pushed the lawnmower and mowed all the weeds and around 2 big trees and a whole nother area around the horses. So here's all my porch garden supplies, all tied down for the winter so they wouldn't all fill up with water. And my window boxes that need to be repainted. And some potted plants or potted flowers. Here's some rosemary. Still grew through the winter. And I was very surprised to see these little violets. Look how cute. I planted those last April and they didn't come up. So I had something else growing in there. I went out one day and I had 2 little flowers that had popped up and they were tiny. They were half the size of these. And I thought, well, good try. Good try, ladies. And now look at her. Whoa. She's dancing. Yeah. I'm starting to think maybe I pay too much attention when I'm trying to grow things. I just leave them alone. I got another onion that's still on there. And all my pots and my water feature. Yeah. Can't wait to get back to that. And also dreading it because it's a daily commitment from there on out. Yeah. And lots of trash from last year. And then more supplies. I covered up so they wouldn't get filled up with water. Yeah, so busy, lots of projects. Wanting to just sit and do some nice quiet videos, maybe do some cooking. Can't seem to get there for some reason, so since I was coming out to do a little roundabout check on everything, I thought I'd take you along. So you can see how I'm busying myself. The birds here are so therapeutic. Oh my gosh. I just love coming out here early in the morning. They're all waiting and I feed them. And then I just kind of sit inside the door and listen to them. Oh, so nice. Of course I have the roosters and chickens from down the street. They're not so relaxing, but you know. It's a nature vibe. And it's early because it's just the first week in March, but all the trees have green buds and all the fruit trees are starting to flower. It looks like I have a lawn. Even though it's just weeds, and they'll all die off. But it feels like hopeful. The beauty is still here. Let's take a deep breath. This cool, clean wind. And the warm, sunny sun. I have a lot to share, but so many thoughts. And really, I want to reaffirm with you that all the things that I've ever shown you in my videos, or anything that I've ever talked about regarding energy and frequency, vibration, with crystals and tuning forks and singing bowls, and yeah, we need to really open more to that. There's a lot for us there. And whether you think that it's adding to anything or not, that's just fine. The action of doing will uplift you, and it's a healing vibration. The sounds, they turn out the noise. Step outside of the controlled input that's being fed to us. We're going to choose our own input. And we just want to take in all the good stuff so that what comes out of us is at its highest. Yeah. I didn't say it was going to be easy. But we are here for a reason, and we're witnessing the end of it. And coming of the new, people start remembering, and it's a momentum. Look at that beautiful, beautiful tree full of flowers. Not a care in the world. It's feeling very satisfied with the amount of water and sun, a little bit of fertilizer that it just got. And we're not separate from anything out here. We're just in a big energy soup. We just have little borders to contain some of our energy, but we overlap continuously. Your energy goes out so far. You have a huge influence. But always remember to bring it in close and protect it. You worked hard for your center and for your happy heart. It's always being tested. So hold on. We got this. I hope I can share some more, practical wisdom of this 70-year-old 70-year-old hippie wannabe. I don't know. Wannabe what? Wannabe free spirit. Sometimes I am and sometimes I'm not. I feel you, I feel you, I feel you. Just trust yourself. Trust every little good thing, every little good feeling. That's the reason you're here. We're aware. We have empathy. We can feel how much has gone wrong. But hold steady. Hold steady. All right then. I hope you enjoyed keeping me company. I'm going and checking on a few things. I have a lot of cleaning to do though, so I better